Yeah, I get really bad migraines. It just happened actually about a year after my scoliosis surgery.
Which was when?
It was in 2016.
Okay. So 4 years ago, scoliosis surgery, and that was your only scoliosis surgery that you've had?
Yes.
Is that the only surgery you've had ever? Yeah?
Go big or go home.
And they did a nice job, and we'll see it in a little bit. Looks clean. Nice x-rays too. There are definitely segments above and segments below that we can work with in terms of manipulating, or adjusting, so that's good. When did the migraines start? I noticed it, I guess, mostly after I had my daughter, so maybe about a little over a year ago. I guess from maybe the strain of constantly holding her, and then whenever she was younger and breastfeeding and rocking, all of that strain, and it's normally just on one side. So my right side has always kind of been my weaker side prior to surgery, because that's the way that my curvature went. So I kind of have always put more strain on this side to begin with. And then after I had my daughter, it just kind of, I feel it a lot more like in my neck. I have no back pain. So where my rods are and my screws and everything, there's no pain at all. It's more just above. So right where the rods and everything kind of stop is where, and I mean, you can kind of like feel it, like it's more raised, like my muscle is more tight, all of that, but it kind of just radiates from the back of my neck up to the back of like the occipital area, and then it'll just shoot all the way behind and then just kind of goes right over my eye. And always the right eye?
Yes, it's always this side of my neck. Like it happened last night after work. So it's like anything can kind of just trigger it if I, maybe sleep a little bit the wrong way or hold my daughter a little too much, or anything can kind of like exacerbate it. So
and do you ever get it when you're at work? Do you notice it if your head is down like this? Is there like a positional association, you think?
Yeah, I'll notice it like at night when I'm on my phone. I'll notice I'll notice me doing this, and then I'll kind of start to feel like that strain. So I'm not the best at sitting like this always. I'm normally like this, which is not good. But after my surgery, I did great with like sitting straight up and having good posture, but normally in reality, I'm just kind of like relaxed. And I'll find it if I even like cross my legs like this or cross my legs like this for too long, and I'm at work like charting and stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess anything positional will kind of trigger it.
Gotcha.
I think it just kind of stems from like the neck in general. I don't know if maybe it's just like the pressure or what, but I kind of like will feel like a bulge like behind my neck. And that's kind of where it just, I don't know, like from here up, kind of like my shoulder-ish, like above my trap area, I guess. Okay. But mainly like my neck right behind there.
Do you ever get any tingling or numbness or any pain in your extremities?
Sometimes down my right extremity, like to my elbow. No numbness to where I feel like I still have good, strong grip strength, but sometimes it'll just kind of tingle, a little bit of tingling. And like I said, it'll, I can kind of like feel it when it's kind of pinched on a nerve, and it'll tingle for a second. And if I massage it, use a heat pack, it'll subside.
Understood.
Comes and goes.
All right. This is what we do. We adjust segmentally to take pressure off nerves. So the idea is that you have a little bit of, how should we say this? If the bone is out of place, even a little bit, from one spot that has been injured, or somehow it had to take on the brunt of the load from any of the tension in your spine, the rest of the spine is going to start to compensate, because it has to keep the head, neutral, right? It has to stay eyes on the horizon. Right. So that's pretty much what's happened here, is your spine got corrected, but then at some point, something above or below that basically just never foundationally, structurally got corrected. And then the rest of your neck is trying to compensate. Right. So we are going to basically look at some x-rays after I do a quick exam on you and figure out why. Because the whole idea is this:
any amount of stress or tension from whatever reason, from whatever part of your spine, is going to set this like cascade of like inflammation and improper reception, you know, up to the brain, back to the muscle, and so forth and so on.
Okay.
And that's how chiropractic really works, is by removing that pressure and that nerve interference to get those muscles to calm down, so the brain says, oh, there's less pain.
Right.
And then one thing I'm noticing is when you talk, and Jen's guilty of this too, is when you talk, you do like a very like excited, you're like very full of energy, which is awesome. I bet you like inspire a lot of people, because you're like inspiring me when you're talking to me. So you do this, you're like, like it's very like, So in actuality, when I'm watching you talk, I'm actually seeing you strain and really stress and flex your neck forward, putting tons of tension through the cervical thoracic junction. In my opinion, 2 out of 3 already come to mind. It's that C5, C6 disc area, the way you're describing the referral pattern. And then over here in the occiput and atlas in the upper cervical, when our foramen magnum is potentially, or our upper cervical, sorry, is shifted, right? And it compresses the foramen magnum, we have that spinal accessory nerve that flows out through here, and it comes down and it innervates a huge portion of our trap and our SEN muscle. 1, 2.
2.
2. It feels the most like pressure tender. Okay. So here, I'm going to tell you what I feel, and then I'm going to look at the x-ray with you and show you what I. And this is just me copying, you know, what you sent me, so it's a little fuzzy. So you clearly, at the end of this surgery, for, you know, and again, I don't know when this was, the position this was taken. Were you standing for this? Okay. So everything's just kind of taking off to here, and then your head wants to come back to center. These middle spinous processes continue to rotate right all the way up toward the upper cervical. So that's compressed this side, pulled a lot of tension through this side. It's probably opened up a bit of a wedge here on this disc area, and that's what we're finding. So basically what I'm going to start off doing is I'm going to actually stabilize this while you're face down on this table, and then I'm just going to do some soft tissue stuff. That's going to kind of influence all this to kind of relax, and I'm going to pull it this way. You'll feel, that's going to probably feel good for you.
Okay.
I mean, so will the adjustment, but in particular, because what I really want to do is I just want to start influencing the tissue this way.
Okay.
Now here's the reason why, the next thing I'm going to show you is the reason why I feel you're having so many migraines. The thing you don't want is this to keep going forward. You know what I mean? Like it's so straight here, I'm like, I feel it when I'm looking down like this at night. That's probably the culprit. So this is pretty straight. The disc spaces, nothing really significantly stands out except, so the only thing that makes sense to me, how could this be interrupted like that? And what I said to Jen before I even looked at the AP was it just has to be maximum rotation. There has to be severe rotation in this cervical spine for this to be showing up like this. And that's exactly what we saw on the AP. It's all your spinous processes from where the surgery ends, so say like T3 or T2, right? All the way rotated to the right and all the way up to the rest of the base of the skull until, you know, your atlas bone. And that's the thing, thank God that these have so much motion, right, to be able to do this, because now it can correct itself and compensate. So your whole spine is doing, oh yeah, it's doing this, and then at the top of your head, right, our innate body, we're just like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I think we're gonna get a lot of correction out of what we talked about doing face down with some of the influence here, and then we're gonna adjust that C6 to start. It's going to feel like I'm pushing down. It won't be hard, I promise. Okay. I'm not even adjusting. What I'm doing is, again, I'm stabilizing and influencing like this. And now we're going to go make the adjustment in the chair. Oh, that's my jam. Don't you forget about me. And hold your head up here. I've only done this to Nurse Jen like
50 million times.
1,600 times.
I know, she tells me all the time.
She's so lucky that she married a
I
chiropractor.
say that to her all the time. Everyone does.
So, let your chin tuck down just a little and push back towards me. Push back into my chest. And let your shoulders really relax in the chair. And now we just get the head to really relax. Oh yeah, you're good.
Beautiful.
Excellent.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't supposed to say that.
Here, how'd that feel?
Good.
That's the worst of it, you know?
That's not bad at all.
Awesome.
At all. It feels good.
Good.
I feel like a weenie now.
I hope you got that on camera, Jen. Let's see the right side. This is what I want to make sure. That right there, that's a good start there at C6. I just feel like if I don't address the right side, you might not get any of that. Yeah, see this? You feel that?
Mm-hmm.
So she's got, this is C2, 3, and there's 4. So yeah, that C4 and C5.
That's where I feel it.
We got to adjust that. Otherwise, we're not going to initiate the healing at that level. So same thing. Chin down a little and just kind of push back towards me a little bit more there. And let your head relax there. Oh, sorry. Slip up and let it drop. A little bit up. Hold your head up. How's that feel?
Better.
Yeah?
Yes.
Good.
A lot better. A lot better even when I go like this and lean it back. I feel the pressure off of that side.
Nice.